2018 alone, there were about 9 recorded incidents of UFO sightings. Not alien spacecraft from outer space necessarily, but just that, unidentified flying objects. It may surprise you to know that Pine Bush, New York, just 100 miles north of New York City, is considered the UFO capital of New York, if not the world. This nearly rural small town, with a population of approximately 2,000, earned its reputation from strange incidents going back as far as the 1950s. The late author Ellen Crystal's Silent Invasion helped to potentiate Pine Bush's reputation in the 1980s. Other authors like Linda Zimmerman and Thomm Quackenbush have contributed significant resources to the subject of ufology in the Hudson Valley. Thom Quackenbush is a fantasy novelist, but also devotes a great deal of his writings on the subject of the supernatural and the unexplained.
My most popular book is Artificial Gods, about the UFO phenomena in Pine Bush. I actually went into Pine Bush. I went on sky watches with the believers. I went to the United Friends Observer Society meetings, and I listened very quietly and patiently, and they do not like you to be quiet in those meetings. I think they find that suspicious. You're supposed to relate the things you've seen. I think my style of writing is getting toward new weird, like Jeff Vandermeer, and just, how weird the world really is and that we tend not to notice it. They focus on the Hudson Valley, and it's actually a good combination of supernatural mythology, I know, and science, because I try to always have a little bit of scientific foundation. Like my book Flies to Wanton Boys deals with the swine flu of 1918. I actually have done the Pine Bush UFO Fair, I think, for the last 6 years. At first I only did it as a vendor, and I've been a speaker here a few times now.
Hence the Pine Bush UFO Festival and Parade. As of May 2019, this will be the 9th annual celebration of all things that visit from the ether. While the theme of this event is clear, there are visitors who adorn themselves with costumes and sell merchandise somewhat loosely in step with UFOs and extraterrestrials. And what's more, you'll find items and get-ups that apparently have nothing to do whatsoever with UFOs. But that's not the point of it all. The celebration is an event that brings enthusiasts, families, and artists far and wide for jubilation and solidarity in the exciting and fascinating world of the paranormal. And for a day here in Pine Bush, the paranormal becomes normal. This is no place for skeptics or naysayers of alien visitation.
I don't think that just because you see a UFO in the sky that you lose credibility for it. You'd have to be so ignorant today. I mean, are you stupid? I mean, it's obvious. People have seen them. Credible people are seeing them. So why would their credibility go down the toilet? Maybe you should take them more seriously. And that's kind of what happened with our case. It was such a wide array of people and witnesses and everything.
In September of 1969, over 250 people witnessed an event in Sheffield, Massachusetts.
There's a judge, Judge Kevin Titus, actually saw it himself in 1969. And when our citations were issued by Governor Charles D. Baker, he sealed them, making a memorandum of law.
Thom Reed has had a lifelong connection to first-hand UFO abduction, and his family had a great deal of involvement in making that UFO sighting in 1969 become a matter of historical fact and legitimacy through public record.
It's the first one to be historically true. Be found historically true by state government.
On the subject of first-hand alien abduction, there have been 2 books published that have been the most popularized and controversial, with a continuous wide distribution. Communion by Whitley Strieber and Fire in the Sky by Travis Walton. While both books account the experiences of men who have had their lives changed irrevocably by their respective abductions, these men come from very different backgrounds. Travis Walton's experience has notable parallels to Whitley Strieber's incident.
I can certainly relate to, having your life completely derailed and, you kind of got to start over and just go, you can't make it unhappen. So you've just got to deal with it. Well, certainly the emotional experience, questioning of your own perceptions of reality, and to be subjected to the skepticism of those around you and people who try to explain it away. It's a common scenario, yeah.
As the story goes, Mr. Walton was a forestry worker in Arizona in 1975. As he and his co-workers began to leave a work site while the sun went down, a spacecraft appeared hovering over them. While the others ran, Travis fearlessly moved closer to have a better look. A beam of light struck him, rendering him injured and unconscious. He reportedly spent 5 days inside the alien craft.
Well, I altered my definition, my description of the event. I went from accepting the terminology abduction and likening it more to that of an ambulance call. That my own foolish move created a situation, an accidental injury that made it necessary to take me aboard, assuming that they were motivated by the need to save my life, save me from the consequences of my own action.
So what made Travis Walton get closer to the craft, while the rest of us undoubtedly would most likely flee in terror?
That was just young bravado. I was that kind of guy. Martial arts, boxing, bull riding, but it definitely cured me.
Believer or non-believer, fact or fiction, hearsay or proof, Roswell, New Mexico or Pine Bush, New York. These distinctions become blurry and muddled, if just for one day in this place. Nevertheless, the celebration and the unexplained continue on here, as do the people who are drawn to it.